Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of MTG Brewery. I am caught up on all my college work, so I'm going to record a video fast. I'm going to move this off my screen. Now, we have a Tribal Flames deck here today, and I picked this up with Bloodbraid Elf recently being unbanned. This isn't a very traditional list. This is kind of an amalgamation of cards I just like and put in here. 4 bolts, and we'll go over this as a deck tech real fast. We have 4 Lightning Bolt. This should work. 3 damage for a creature player, 1 mana, good removal. I'm going to move myself so I'm a little bit more centered on my end. Good interaction with our opponent because it lets us kill him. We got Wild Nacatl. It is a 1/1 for 1, but it gets +1/+1 if you have a mountain and +1/+1 if you have plains. So it's a 1 mana 3/3 generally. Not very new, very good at aggressive, with the only 1-drop creature in the deck. Really like to have it, but don't always. Tribal Flames, as a weird mechanic, is deal X damage for a creature player X the number of land types, basic land types. Now, this doesn't mean basic lands. Basic land types can come from your dual lands, such as Godless Shrine and Hallowed Fountain over here. So they have the count. So this is generally going to be 2 mana for 4 to 5 damage, generally. Not always, but generally. We have Tarmogoyf, which in this deck is generally going to be a 3/4, but we can make it a 4/5 with our Tribal Flames. It's just a nice, efficient beater in the deck. It's the reason it's here. It's really big, really fast. Helix is another version of Lightning Bolt, for those who don't know what it does. It is 3 damage for a creature player, and you gain 3 life. So it's good. We have a lot of shocklands in our deck, and a lot of fetches. It's very painful mana base, so having some Lightning Helixes helps. Quasali Pridemage is kind of a nice little attacker here. It gives Exalted, so if we have turn 1 Wild Nacatl, turn 1 Pridemage, it can help us get attacking in very aggressively. It has some utility in being able to kill artifacts and enchantments, so that's why it's here. Voice of Resurgance is very powerful. If someone plays a spell on our turn, oopsies, we get a elemental token that has power and toughness equal number of creatures. If it dies, more tokens. It's here because it's a value card, and it can kind of help us protect our things like our Bloodbraid Elf, shitting things, Tribal Flames. It's just a very nice aggressive creature, while being very reasonable against a lot of random decks. This, and I'm trying out some fun cards here. Crackling Doom is a card I'm in love with. Hopefully, as I'm filming this, we're about to play League, this isn't still bugged. This was at one point bugged, to where it would make both you and your opponent, both of you, sacrifice creature. As you can read here, each opponent sacrifice creature. So if I have sacrifice creature, I get to request compensation for the League. But I really don't want it to be bugged, because this is a card I love this card, and I just want it to be good. It's the reason I'm playing it. I'm not going to say it's the best card for this deck, but I'm playing it because I really like it. We have Kolaghan's Command, which also may not be a great fit for the main deck, but the fact we have Bloodbraid Elves, we can buy back Bloodbraid Elves, buy back creatures. It acts as more reach. We have a lot of burn in the deck, so we can, once we get our attacks in with our creatures, if they're able to come up the board, we can burn them out. If you'd like. Thank you, Quasali number 2. Being able to buy back creatures, especially with Bloodbraid Elf, can matter. Randomly being able to destroy an artifact can matter. And if they're top decking, being able to make them discard a card in their draw step is going to be a big deal. We have some Knights of the Reliquary, because I also a lot of these cards in here, I don't know if they're the best cards for these deck, but I just really like them, so I'm playing them. It gets +1/+1 for each land card in your graveyard, and you can sacrifice a forest or plains, and every land in our deck, I think, is a forest or plains. There maybe should be a Blood Crypt in this mana base. I don't know. Once again, I'm not an expert. This is the first time I'm playing this, so I just did what I thought. But it gets really big, really fast. Is the only reason it's in the deck, is so we can filter out lands and get a really big guy. Loxodon Smiter is here. It's really good against Jund right now. It can't be countered, so it's randomly good against control decks. It is 4 toughness, so it's good against Lightning Bolt. And if your opponent has a Liliana of the Veil pluses it, we get to put it into play. So this card I really like. I really hope we get Burning Creed and get to put in Loxodon Smiters. That would be nice. And then Bloodbraid Elf. This card is just, it's so good. 3/2 haster, so it's a nice attacker, and it comes with an additional card, and every card in here hopefully is going to matter. Wild Nacatl might be worse later in the game, but burn spells, bigger creatures, or these impact cards. And you can see the mana base here. I'm not going to go too in detail on it. I threw it together. We have Steam Vents, Hallowed Fountain as the... Steam Vents is not a plains or forest. That matters. For the blue source, there's no blue cards in the deck. It's only there for Tribal Flames, then Godless Shrine, Overgrown Tomb for the black sources. But this is basically a Naya deck, and this is what I like about the way I've put the Tribal Flames together. I've seen a lot of players do this, where they're basically playing a 5-color Tribal Flames deck, and that can put a huge stress on your mana base if you're playing Snapcaster Mage, Sky Saint Trapped, Wild Nacatl, Tarmogoyf. Like, you need all your colors. It's going to be a lot more painful. You don't have the option to fetch your basics. And later in the game, if you didn't fetch your shock lands that make blue or black mana, and you draw one, you may not be able to cast those cards because you don't have enough life to play with. So I went with a very base Naya deck, no blue cards, they're only there for the tribal flames, and then some black cards in the deck. But it's basically a Naya deck, and I'm hoping that's the right way to play this. It might not. It might just be acceptable to say, this is a 4 to 5 color deck, and you're going to throw in 4 Death Shadows and go from there, which is probably more than fine. It's just not something I enjoy. We have 2 Relic of Progentius as some graveyard hate in the sideboard. This maybe should be Spell Bombs, Nihil Spell Bombs, or Leyline of the Void, but I'm not sure. Pithing Needle has some random utility, good against a bunch of random cards. Being able to stop something from being activated can matter a lot, and it can name lands, so if a land's giving you an issue, it can be a big deal. Grim Lavamancer, really good against small creature decks. We don't do anything with our graveyard other than use Tarmogoyf and the Scavenging Ooze in the sideboard, so the fact that we can get rid of excess lands in our graveyard and such to just start picking down our opponent's creatures, when that's good, it's going to be way better. 1 Collective Brutality, because this card's just really good, and if I think you're playing Black and Modern right now, you should at least be playing 1 of these in your 75, if not up to 3. It's just so good. See all the modes. Like, all of these modes are good in Modern. It's an early removal spell, it can act as more reach, it can disrupt our opponent's game plan, and it can escalate by discarding cards, so if you have excess lands or something, it can be very powerful. Ancient Grudge is some artifact hate, getting to kill 2 artifacts if this card matters, especially against Affinity, which is a really bad matchup for this deck. Scavenging Ooze as a nice threat. It can get really big, really fast. Sorry guys, I'm taking a lot of gulps here. I'm getting a case of cotton mouth, I guess. And it is a way to gain some life, though probably won't matter most times. It's just here as an efficient threat that can really good in the late game. Gaddock Teeg's here as kind of a hate bear that's really powerful against things like Storm, being able to stop giving him in Past in Flames. Really good against, I even board this in against Elves because it stops Collective Companies and Court of Callings. It's good against a bunch of random decks. And it's just it's a 2-2 for 2 at the worst case scenario, which isn't great, but it is what it is, and sometimes just a 2-2 for 2 is going to be great. It's really good against Tron 2, being able to stop everything but Oblivion Stone as far as interacting with you generally. Kitchen Finks is pretty good, and is here as another nod to both burn and kind of the Jund style strategies. It's a resilient threat, so they generally have to answer it twice. It is a 3-2 that can just enter, gain 2 life, persist, gain 2 more life. So it's really here to just gain some life. We have a Fiery Justice in here as a nice little... it's really good against aggressive creature decks. It's the only reason it's really in here. If Great Death Shadow randomly pops up, then even better. But this is here against like Affinity, Elves, like these small creature decks that can be an issue if they go super wide really quickly and you don't have enough time to stabilize with big creatures. You can just gun down a bunch of creatures and start attacking them. And then Engineer Explosives in here, because we can play it up to 5. And it's just a nice kind of answer to everything we have access to. Or answer to most things in the format. Very few things can dodge this. I don't remember if I put a Gavany Township in this mana base. I have not. So neither Reliquary, as I was looking through this, is only here as a really big creature really quickly. And that's kind of the deck. I'm not going to go super in depth on this because I'm not experienced with it. I don't know that much about it, and I'm just firing this up, playing League with it. So we'll see you guys for the League, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. That will be separate videos. So I guess I should do a little extra first. If you don't watch the videos of the games, then you can find us on Twitter at PearsLessBlog. You can email us, PearsLessBlog@yahoo.com. You can find us here on YouTube if you hit the like and subscribe button, get some notifications, or the occasional times we do get to post them. So please do that. That helps us. And oh wow, it's kind of painful right now. I'm sure it'll be fine. You can find my old articles on cardconfidants.com and plenty of other great content there. And I think that's where you can find us. Yep. So please go check out all those places. Hit that like, that share button. I don't actually think YouTube has a share button. That's probably something else. But we'll see you guys for the battle videos, and hopefully we'll see you for the videos where we're battling with this deck. If not, have a great day, and we hope to see you next time.